What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video as always. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on any new videos that are coming. We're pumping out 3 videos a week right now and really trying to grow this channel. And really the goal of this channel and all the videos on the channel is to help you guys catch more bass. So if you're interested in any other content, check out the rest of the channel. We got a bunch of videos on there. If you have any ideas for new content or anything that you'd like to see or learn, drop it in the comments below and we'll see what we can do about getting a video out for you guys to learn more about bass fishing. So today we're taking a dive into my frog box. I'm going to show you some of my favorite frogs, when I like to use them, why I like to use them, and just kind of give you a deep dive on some frog fishing. It's a fun way to catch them. This has kind of been a heavily requested video. Guys have wanted to kind of see what's been in my frog box. I might give up some secrets. I don't know yet. We might keep some stuff under the wraps. I don't know. We're going to see. But if you guys are ready, let's jump in and see what we got going on in here. Okay, so like I said, frog fishing is a lot of fun. And really you got 2 different types of frogs. Basically you got your regular walking style frogs. This is probably the most popular, most common frog on the market is just the Spro bronze-eye frog. Everybody who's ever thrown a frog has owned one of these. Dean did an excellent job designing this, and they've sold a ton of different frogs here. This one here is the Boom Boom frog. It's a little bit different than the bronze eye and kind of excels in some different things that we're going to dive into. But really, that's the first style of frog. And then you have more of your poppin' frog style, where it has more of a popper on the front, kind of makes more of a commotion on the front. And we'll kind of dive into those as we go through. So let's just kind of start through. This is like more of my walking side and then more of my popping side of frogs. So basically we just keep it pretty simple. I pretty much throw a black, a white, and then more of like a bluegill-ish color. This one's got a little trick done to it. I think I did a video on the channel if you guys want to check that out, but that right there is a sneaky little trick that'll really help you catch some more fish with your frogs. But basically I keep my frog selection pretty simple. So this one here is actually this is actually a Northland frog right here, and I really like throwing him for moving it really fast. I don't like walking him very much. This is one where I'm throwing this style of bait and I'm just pretty much having a constant retrieve and just shaking it a little bit, and he's basically just hopping nonstop, not moving at all. And that's really when I like throwing this style frog. That's really what they designed it for, is that one right there. Then the bronze eye does everything well. So the Spro frog, it walks well. You could trim the legs a little bit, trim one leg shorter than the other. That's one little trick that'll help you walk this frog a little bit better, but you can really keep him in place well and move him fast if you want. It's heavy, it casts well. Really love the Spro frog. And then you got the Boom Boom frog that I talked about earlier. It's just a little bit different. So there's a couple differences with this one. Is one, that they got a Velcro strip on the top here. So basically when a fish bites this, the design is basically, or the idea behind it is basically that Velcro strip is going to catch the bass's teeth whenever he clamps down on this, and it's going to give you an extra opportunity to set that hook and drive these hooks into the roof of that fish's mouth. But this frog's a little bit different. So it actually has a little bit of a rattle inside of it straight from the factory. But this frog I really like for those big heavy mats, like big cheese mats. For some reason I really like this frog. And I got one laying right here. I take a nail weight. So this frog excels well with a nail weight. I shove it inside that frog. So it adds a little weight, it makes a little extra noise, but it actually helps it sit down in those heavy mats a little bit more and kind of like bulge down the mat and kind of hop through there. So that's when I pick up the Boom Boom frog. I really like that. When you're fishing that extremely heavy cover, I want that added protection or added, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but this Velcro is just another added level of security to help you catch those fish. Like I said, it handles that nail weight well. You know, some frogs won't handle that extra weight well. It'll cause them to sink. But the Boom Boom frog really likes to still float well with the nail weight in there. And that's my choice for the real heavy cover. And then when you get around more sparse cover, maybe a little bit smaller bait fish or smaller bass, you know, not necessarily fishing for those big giant ones. I really like this little frog right here. And this is actually a Jackal Kiera, I believe is the name. But this is one of my favorite little frogs right here. You see, it's just a little guy. Nice little frog. I mean, here you can see the size difference compared to a Spro. So he's a nice little tiny frog. And man, I've caught a lot of fish on this little guy right here. He casts well, he walks well, just a perfect little guy. Whenever you're trying to imitate that little bit smaller bait fish, smaller bluegill, whatever it may be, I really like this little frog right here. So, okay, what else we got? I think that's all of those. No, let's go to this guy right here. So this one, I'm gonna ask a favor from you guys. So this frog's been discontinued for a while, and if you guys have any, I would love to buy them from you. This is one of my favorite frogs for walking in place. You know, it will basically sit in one spot and just walk side to side. I really don't understand why they discontinued it, but this one here, this is the Jackal Iobi frog. It's been discontinued for a few years now. I've only got a handful of them left. So like I said, if you guys know of anywhere, if you guys have any you want to part ways with, drop your contact drop your contact information in the comments down below, and I would love to buy these from you, because this is one of my favorite frogs for, like I said, for walking in place, more open water. This is really excellent around when the bass are spawning. So, okay, let's tuck him back home. And let's move on to the popping frog style. You know, we've got a few different options in here. Obviously, we got a few Spro popping frogs, but I feel like everybody knows about the Spro, so we're not going to talk about them. We're going to kind of dive into the others. This one here, this is a good one for a big, bulky profile. I really like fishing him around, you know, big fish, kind of more around lily pads, it seems. I really do well with him, but that's the Jackal Gavacho. That's him right there. Big popper on him. So if you compare him to, say, like the Boom Boom popping frog, you can see there's quite a big difference on the cup on the front of him. So this makes a big, loud sploosh or a big pop. And then you go to the Boom Boom, and this is more of just like a little spit. So it's a much different presentation or a much different sound between the two of these, and I really like this one for, you know, like I said, more fishing around lily pads. Basically, this is in place of a pop-R in cover where you can't throw a pop-R. That's when I really like this bait. And then the Boom Boom, like I said, it's more of a spit, so it's more of like, how can I describe it? This is for more of like, you know, you don't want a ton of action or sound, but you want it to cause a little commotion on the front. So it's a totally different pop between the two. So those are probably two of the most common popping frogs I throw. And then I really like this guy right here, the old fuzzy butt, as I like to call it. That is, what is that one called? I always call him fuzzy butt. I forget the name. I got one hanging up over here. What's it called? Oh, of course. How could I forget? That is the Depths Buster K. That's the actual name. It's not fuzzy butt. But man, you know, this bait, you know, it looks like it has a big popper. And actually, so the cool thing about this is you can do everything with this one frog. You know, it's kind of a unique design on the front. So you can pop this really hard and it'll make a big sploosh or a big commotion. Or you can just kind of lighten up your twitches and it'll just kind of spit or walk in place. So it's a good frog that you can do multiple things. Now, the only issue that I really don't like with this frog is this weight will break. It'll come out, you'll lose the weight, it'll leak, it'll fill up. So it's a pretty expensive frog, and you know, I'm not real happy about the weight coming out all the time, but I really love this bait and it catches me a lot of fish. So I got a bunch of different colors of him. You know, we got like a shiner color here, more of a subtle green pumpkin, bluegill-ish color, and then of course your black and whites. You know, generally speaking, I keep it pretty simple on the frog fishing. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's a deep dive into my frog selection. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you got any suggestions, I'd love to hear your frogs, what frogs you guys like to throw down in the comments below. And definitely, if you guys have any Iobi frogs or know where I can get them, definitely let me know about those, because I would really appreciate that and definitely be interested in purchasing those from you. So that's going to wrap up this video. Hopefully you learned something about frog fishing. Leave me those likes and comments down below. Don't forget, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys next time.